Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Nights at the Round Table. Today's episode is Tossing It Up with Miss Tossing, and our guest today is none other than Miss Tossing.
Hello.
And so thank you so much, Miss Tossing, for squeezing us into your very, very busy schedule.
Thank you for the invite.
And to start things off, we just want to get to know how you grew up and kind of like your early life. So could you tell us about where you grew up?
Okay. Well, I was born in Mesa, Arizona, but when I was 5, we moved to Pasadena, Texas, which is a suburb of Houston. But then we moved back to Arizona when I was 16, and I stayed there for a while before moving out to Georgia. But let's see, what was my childhood like? Frankly, we were poor. You know, we didn't have any money for a lot of things. I'm the youngest of 3. I have my oldest sister and then my brother in between, and I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. Yeah, we didn't have any money growing up, but my parents were always very supportive of my interest in singing. And, my mom worked very, very hard to help pay for voice lessons and that sort of thing. So I was very fortunate that I had incredibly supportive parents, even though they didn't really have the funds to do that. They worked really hard to make sure that I had what I needed to pursue the career I wanted, which is pretty awesome.
That is awesome. So we love supportive parents. How did you even discover your love for singing?
Well, my dad was a bluegrass musician.
Really?
And he never learned to read music, but if it had strings, he could figure out how to play it. He played guitar, he played banjo, he played mandolin, he played dulcimer. Later in his life, he even picked up fiddle. He couldn't read a note of music, but if he would listen to the music and he would work it out on his whatever instrument was his interest at the time. And so I grew up around that. My mother always used to joke that I could sing before I could talk because I would sit on the floor at my dad's feet while he was playing and singing bluegrass.
Oh.
And so because of that love of music, I started taking chorus in the 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And from then on, as I, took chorus higher and higher up in school, I was being introduced to different kinds of music. And so it's my dad's fault.
Thank you, Mr. Tossing. And were your siblings also, do they also have a musical background?
Musical, no. My brother went to art school.
Oh.
He was a visual artist. He didn't really stick with it much, but he still really enjoys photography. Mm-hmm. But he actually went into the military. He wound up being career in the Navy. So, he's the visual artist. I'm the musician. Mm-hmm. My sister just, did whatever my sister does.
Okay. And then did you eventually go into college for something related to singing?
Yep. I went to Arizona State University.
ASU?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Go Devils.
Go Devils.
My undergrad was, believe it or not, choral education.
Really?
I thought I wanted to be a high school choir director. Mm-hmm. And then I spent a couple of years in that program, and I'm like, no, I'm not a teacher. Mm-hmm. I love what arts programs can do for students, but I am not a teacher. Mm-hmm. I don't have the patience. Mm-hmm. I don't have the ability to translate what's in my brain out of my mouth for someone else to understand. Mm-hmm. My husband, on the other hand, is a natural teacher. I mean, he can teach a rock how to do anything he wants. I mean, it's amazing. But I don't have that skill, and it is absolutely a skill. Mm-hmm. Don't ever think that your teachers aren't skilled at what they do, because teaching is definitely something that not everyone can do. So I did finish my degree in education, but when it was time to do my master's degree, I stayed at Arizona State, but I went in as a vocal performance major.
Ooh, I see.
Yeah.
And wow, you're a double devil.
I was there for a long time.
Wait, so if you completed your, college years in Arizona, what brought you to Georgia?
Well, I knew I needed to get out of Arizona just because there's not really much going on in the classical music scene there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's time for me to get out. I need to go somewhere else. And I happened to spend a summer at the Brevard Music Center in Brevard, North Carolina, which is a music camp. It's like a summer stock. I don't know if you're familiar with the term summer stock. But we did, in the space of 9 weeks, we put on 4 fully staged operas.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But I got to be friends with the people on the technical crew. And it just so happened that I started dating the guy who was the master carpenter building the sets. And he lived in Georgia, and I moved out here and married him. And we've been married for 23 years in a couple of months.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah. That's awesome. And also, I think it's very courageous to like move out of a place and out of like something out of your comfort zone, really.
It was awesome. Scary. It was scary.
So when did you move over to Georgia?
I moved in February of 2000. So I've been here almost 26 years. A quarter of a century I've lived in Georgia. Yeah.
It is a quarter of a century.
Yep.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And can you talk about, before we get into your opera work here, can I ask about your work experience before you came here at SOTA?
Oh, as in Gwinnett County?
Yes.
Yeah, for 16 total years, I have worked in Gwinnett County before I came to School of the Arts. I spent 6 years at Sweetwater Middle School doing... My job title is SDMC, which stands for Student Data Management Clerk, and that's what I did at Sweetwater. And then I did the same thing at Moore Middle School. I opened Moore Middle School and was there for 10 years. And then this spot opened up, and so I came over here. But the funny thing is, like I said, SDMC stands for Student Data Management Clerk. But my job here, even though I'm technically still in SDMC, I don't really do that job in that same way. I wear a lot of hats. I'm doing student data, but I'm also organizing, auditions. Sometimes I make cotton candy. I made cotton candy for an event last spring. I do so many different things that we've decided that for me at this place, SDMC actually stands for Soda Diva and Manager of Chaos.
Oh my goodness, I love that. You heard it here.
But my position is absolutely unique in Gwinnett County. There's nobody else in the entire county who does what I do or all the bizarro things that I do.
I don't know. I've definitely said to people, like whenever someone asks me, oh, like, what does Miss Tossing do? I always respond, I don't know. But she does everything. She's magical. She's everywhere. She can do anything.
No, I don't know about that. But I do like to be... I like to have my finger in all the pies. I want to know what all you kids are up to.
Okay. And what is your favorite thing about working here?
Okay, see, I knew that question was coming, and I'm going to warn you, I'm probably going to get misty-eyed.
Oh.
My favorite thing about working at SOTA is you guys. I told my principal at Moore years and years ago, I said, if we ever open a School of the Arts in Gwinnett County, I will be morally obligated to apply. And then this opened up, and I got the job, and I'm like, I'm going to be surrounded with baby versions of my people. You kids are my people. And getting... Here we go. Getting to watch all of you grow as artists and as budding adults and to see the incredible things that you do. I am blown away on a daily basis by what the SOTA kids do. So you are my favorite thing about working here.
Thank you, Miss Tossing.
And no, I'm very serious. I knew I was going to tear up. I knew it was going to happen, and here we go. I should have brought Kleenex. But no, I love all you guys, and it's so incredible being part and seeing what you guys are up to all the time. It's amazing.
I don't know. It feels... Dang it, Miss Tossing. But I don't know. It feels so good to hear this from you. I feel like it's very reassuring because I think I can speak for a good majority of the SOTA student body that we definitely feel the support, like emanating off of you and Miss Rose. We definitely feel it whenever you guys make it, I guess, your goal to attend every single every single show and performance.
We try.
Yeah, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I love this back and forth that I have with the kids. I love it when you guys come to my office. If you need something, if you need advice, if you just want to say hi, it makes me happy. I love being able to help you guys.
Thank you. And I do love your office. Something about it. Something is magical behind that door. It's like you, Miss Rose, and Miss Brown. Anyways, I need to stay focused. So
need a moment.
Yes. Where do you? I think yes. This year's year 5.
Year 5.
We are halfway through a decade. Where do you see SOTA in the next 10 years?
I can't imagine it going anywhere but up. I mean, we have incredible faculty. Another thing I hope you guys appreciate, that you are getting something here that you're not going to get anywhere else. And we just, as our reputation grows, we get students of even higher caliber than we've had before, which I don't even understand how that can happen, because such a strong foundation from the very beginning with the kids that we've had. But it's just going to go up. We're going to keep doing incredible things. Our kids are going to keep going on to do incredible things, being accepted into world-class programs in college, all over the country. It's just going to keep growing and getting better and stronger. And I'm here for it.
That was a great answer, Ms. Tossing. I'm excited to see, I don't know, what every year from, I guess, today has in store for the next couple, for the next, cohort? I don't know if we could call it a cohort. Yeah. Cohort of students. But students, performers, artists. But, yeah. Going back to your life as a performer outside of school, can you talk about your, I guess, performance experience in Georgia?
Whew. Well, let's see. I auditioned to join the Atlanta Opera Chorus back in 2002. So I have been singing with Atlanta Opera Chorus for 24 years. I counted, I think I've done 56 different shows with that company in that period of time. It's close to 300 performances. It's been amazing. And then through that, the exposure to those people and that experience, I also have sung with smaller companies. Hold, please. Smaller companies like Capital City Opera, which is, again, a small company, but they're always doing things around town. There's a new company in town that, well, I guess, how new is it? We started, the first show was 2019, so, about 5 years. A company called Atlanta Concert Opera, which allows local singers to perform operatic roles in concert version. We're standing... dressed nice, but standing in front of an audience just in a concert setting rather than in costume with sets, running around doing all of the craziness. Because, opera is musical theater. That's something a lot of people don't realize is we are on stage in costume, acting, singing, moving, dancing. It just oftentimes is in a foreign language. It's a different vocal technique. We don't use microphones. Like the place we perform with at Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center holds almost 4,000 people, and we don't sing with microphones.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but because that's, the operatic singing style is designed to fill a large space, which is pretty cool. I don't think that's what you asked me. But yeah, so concert opera allows people to just learn roles without the trappings of doing a full stage production. So I've been singing regularly with 3 different companies in the Atlanta area. And it's great.
And doing, what was the number?
Over 50. Over 50, yeah, a lot.
Over 50 shows. How do you prepare for all of those?
Oh boy. Well,
Do you have like a ritual?
do you mean like how do I get ready for it, like the day of a performance, or what's the iceberg that leads up to a performance?
Could we get both?
Okay. And also there's a difference in how a chorus will perform or prepare than how a soloist will prepare. A soloist is, you learn a lot of the music on your own. You know, you spend time, you know, you have to study the language. You have to know what you're saying, even if you're singing in Italian, French, German, Spanish, Russian, ancient Greek, ancient Egyptian. I've sung in ancient Egyptian. How crazy is that? But you have to, you know, make sure you know what you're saying, because if you don't, you're just singing gibberish, and what's the point in that? So you study the language, you make sure all your translations are written in so you know what you're saying at all times. Obviously, you have to learn a lot of notes. A lot of people will take private coachings, private voice lessons to help build up a role. Once it gets to time to perform, or as you're getting into the final rehearsal process, say it's a fully staged show and you've got an orchestra in the pit, and before we start all those staging rehearsals, you'll spend a lot of time working with a vocal coach who helps you get past any vocal obstacles, or say, hey, dramatically, have you thought about approaching it this way? And to prepare for the chorus, it's not dissimilar, but we meet as an ensemble and rehearse together, and learn the bulk of the music together. We still have to spend some outside time making sure that, you know, all the pitches and rhythms are correct and that we do know what we're saying, and memorizing all that stuff. That's a lot, is to memorize an entire show's worth of music, especially if it's in a foreign language. It can be really, really challenging. But you spend a lot of time preparing before we even get to the point where you're meeting with the director and he says, okay, you guys stand over there and do this, and you guys stand over there and do this. It's months and months and months of preparation before we even get to that point.
I see. And once you do get to that point and it's the night before a show, how do you prepare for the next day?
You know, it's funny. It can be different. As a chorus member, I'm not saying that what we do is not any less important than the soloists, but there's a little less individual pressure. Because if you're cruising along and you're in singing a big number and you choke up a little bit and you miss a few notes, there are other people in your section to carry it through. Hold, please. But and so it's a little more relaxed. You want to make sure you get plenty of sleep. You know, you got to get rested. You've got to feed yourself well. And by the time you're performing the show, the memory is there. You know what's going on. We've been rehearsing so much that you don't really have to do anything extra to prepare the night before. Just, again, getting a good night's sleep, making sure you stay hydrated, because if you're not hydrated, you can't sing well. And just, sometimes we'll get together before a show and grab dinner and just, have that bond, because you get so close. You get so close with the people that you share a stage with. Some of the best friends I've ever had in my entire life. No, all of the best friends I've ever had in my entire life have been people I've shared the stage with. And it's a bond that you can't get anywhere else. I don't know. Maybe on a sports team. I never played sports, so I don't know. I'm sure it's something very similar. But anytime you're working on something collaboratively, it's just those bonds are amazing. Now, working as a soloist, preparing for a performance, same ideas. It can be a little more nerve-wracking. I find that stage fright is a lot more present when I'm having to sing solo than chorus. With, a chorus production, especially if it's very complicated staging, that sort of thing, you get that excitement. You get that rush. It's like, okay, they've called us to places and it's time to go. And it's very, very exciting. I personally find that when I'm singing solo work, The nerves are a little more tenacious. I had read this amazing quote several years ago that I looked up and tried to find, couldn't find it. So I'm going to have to paraphrase. I have no idea who said it, but basically saying you never defeat stage fright. You just become very, very comfortable being scared.
Oh, that's good.
And stage fright is valuable because it allows you to be on your game. You know, you're not taking anything for granted. You are focused on what you need to do. On the rare occasions when I've done stuff that I wasn't nervous about, it's like if you're not careful, you can be kind of lackadaisical about it. And it's like, oh wait, no, don't do that. You know, you're not fully focused. You're not fully involved. And so stage fright has its value. But going back to your question, I'm just wandering all over the place. Going back to your question, for me, if I'm doing solo work, it's about keeping myself calm, reminding myself that I'm there because I deserve to be there, and I'm prepared, and I'm ready to go, and it's just breathing, warming up. You got to do, vocal warm-ups, that sort of thing, and just making sure that you have all your ducks in a row and are ready to go on stage and do it.
And is that how you, I guess I wouldn't say defeat, now that you have talked about the value in stage fright, but is that how you become comfortable with stage fright?
Yeah. The more prepared you are, the better it is. If you are in a situation where you are not as prepared as you would like to be, then that fear can get real big. In fact, this last summer, I had an experience that was the most stressful month of my life. Atlanta Concert Opera this last summer was doing a production of a show called Falstaff by Verdi, based on Shakespeare's Merry Wives of Windsor. And I told Daniel, the director, that I said, yeah, sure, I'll do the chorus for that one, no problem, whatever. But we were just opening another show with Atlanta Opera. We did a show called Semele. And the night of our first tech rehearsal, the first rehearsal in the theater, I got a message from Daniel. He said, I'm in a pickle. He said, have you ever sung the role of Dame Quickly? I'm like, nope. Don't know the show at all. I've never even listened to it. I don't know the show at all. He goes, well, we lost the woman who was, going to sing the role. She had to back out. This was 2 weeks before the first rehearsal with the entire ensemble. And I'm like, well, okay.
And you're already preparing for 2 other shows.
So I couldn't touch the music that whole week of Tech Week because I was working.
Yes.
And then I would go to the theater, and I would be there until 11:30 at night, and I would go home and I would crash, and I would get up at 5:30 and start all over again. And I can't touch the music for at least a week.
Yeah.
So then we got the show on its feet and opened, and I started really looking at the music. I'm like, this is really hard. It's really difficult music. It's the most difficult solo role I've ever learned. And I found out that I needed to do it on June 1st. I remember because it was the day before my birthday. And we performed the show on July 10th. And that month was terrifying because even though it was a concert version and I was, I didn't have to have it memorized. We all had our music. We didn't have to worry about crazy staging. But it was still just, what am I doing? Why did you do that? Don't ever do this to me again. But when it came down to it, I was terrified. But it's like, you know what? It is what it is. All I can do is the best that I can do. And that show was better than it had any right to be.
Really?
And it wasn't just me that was struggling. It was the entire cast. There were 10 principal singers, and all of us, the joke was that the composer is Giuseppe Verdi. And if you translate that to English, it's Joe Green. But the whole time we're like, Joe, who hurt you? Why did you have to make this music so difficult? And even the last rehearsal, all of us were just like, okay. This is what it's going to be. And then we all somehow managed to pull it out of thin air for the night of the performance and pulled it off. So, yeah, if you don't have the time to be as prepared as you'd like to be, it's really scary.
But I'm glad that it was a bonding experience for you as well.
It definitely was. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, we all got real close in that process. It was great.
But it's not always like that for you, is it?
No,
Okay.
no, if you've got the time to prepare and you are prepared, then yeah, it's very joyful. It's a lot of fun. It's very high energy and a little scary, but
Gets your heart going.
it gets your heart going. But if we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it.
Right.
You know? So.
And going back to, I guess, how difficult, all the preparation you have to do for a show, do you have a favorite language to sing in?
I love German.
Really?
I love German. And that may be because my favorite art song composer, not necessarily my favorite opera composer, but but just like short songs that you would perform in a recital. My favorite composers are the Germans. Schubert, Wolf, Brahms. And so I love German. I love the language. It's my favorite language to sing in. Italian is more common in opera because the Italians invented opera. But it's people all over the world create opera now. So you'll have operas in English, you'll have operas in Russian, in ancient Egyptian, you know. So yeah, I've gotten to sing a lot of languages, but German is my favorite. French is beautiful, but it's really hard.
Really?
French is so hard.
You would think that German would be more difficult.
Well, the rules are all the same. You know, once you learn the rules, it's just like, you know, ich bin gefallen und ich kann nicht aufstehen, you know. But French is, the sounds are so different from what we do in English that it can be difficult to sound properly French. And to say it in a way that if a French person were listening to you, they're like, oh, I know what you're saying. My voice teacher in college, I was working on some French song or other, and he looked at me and he said, I have never heard anyone sound so French and be so wrong.
Well, I don't even know how to interpret that.
He said it with love. But my French was really rough, especially when I was an undergrad. But yeah, French is hard. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous, the most singable language. I think it is the most beautiful sung language, just the sounds themselves, but it's really hard.
And I guess to end things, you have a favorite piece or show that you've done?
Oh gosh, there are so many. The shows that we do in what's called standard rep, as in the shows, there's like 20 or 30 shows that get performed a lot. You've got your Carmen, you've got your Madame Butterfly, you've got your Marriage of Figaro. Those are the shows that everybody does all the time, and there's good reason for that. They're beautiful, wonderful shows. I do have one opera that very few people have heard of, and I absolutely adore it. It's called L'Enfant à la Sortilège, and it's by Ravel. And it's a little one act. And the main character, l'enfant, is a child. It roughly translates to the bewitched child or the child and the magic. He's a brat, and it's sung by an adult because a child cannot sing this music. It's really hard. But he's a monster. He disobeys his mother. He throws tantrums. He tears things apart. And the whole show is all of the things that he has torn apart, like the grandfather clock. The squirrel he poked with a pen, the cat whose tail he pulled, the books he tore apart, come to life and torment him.
Oh!
And it's so good. It's so good. And he learns his lesson at the end, and there's this gorgeous chorus of all the creatures that live out in the yard, the bats and the nightingale and the squirrels and the frogs and the trees, this big, beautiful, I'm giving myself chills just talking about it. But not many people do it. It's a difficult show to pull off technically. But if you ever get the chance to just listen to L'Enfant à la Sortilège by Ravel, do it. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Good to know. I'm going to write that down.
Okay.
And lastly, would you like to sing us a little excerpt of your favorite piece?
Ooh, okay. Again, there's so many. favorites. But yeah, I could. Let me see if I've got any water left in this thing. This aria is If for those who don't know, an aria is a solo from an opera or oratorio. Is just what they're called. And this is an opera called Orfeo e Euridice. Anybody who saw Hadestown last year, it's the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, which is taken from an ancient Greek myth, which has been set to opera many times. This particular one, Orfeo e Euridice, the aria is called Che farò senza Euridice, which means what will I do without Eurydice? This is when she has died and gone down to Hades, and Orpheus has to go retrieve her. And in this case, Orpheus is actually often sung by a woman, but it was written for a castrato. I'm not going to get into it here, but deep dive, do a Wikipedia search of castrati, and that'll give you some really eye-opening information about the history of opera and classical music. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
My water bottle is empty. Oh, no. That is so empty. All right, well, we're just going to have to fake it.
Oh.
All right, so remember what I was talking about being hydrated?
We can overdub it later.
Good. All right, this feels so weird.
But they didn't hear that.
No, okay, great. Chi farò senza Euridice? Dove andrò senza il mio ben? Che farò? Dove andrò? Che farò senza il mio ben? Dove andrò senza il mio ben?
Can we give a round of applause for Miss Tossing? Thank you, Miss. This is my first, in my 4 years here, this is my first time hearing you sing ever.
I don't usually do it in the hallways, you know.
There's already a lot of singing in the hallways.
There's already a lot of singing in the hallways. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is a lot of fun. I hope I didn't babble too much.
No.
I feel like we went on for quite some time.
I feel like the time actually went by very fast. Thank you so much for your time today and letting us poke into your brain and your life. And we will see you guys all in the next episode of Nights at the Round Table.
Okay.
Bye.